So, here comes Wave 3. And the tracks that are in Wave 3 for this new booster course pass includes London Loop, GBA Blue Lake, 3DS Alpine Pass, Wii Maple Treeway, Berlin Byways, DS Peach Gardens, Merry Mountain, and 3DS Rainbow Road. So, just like I did for Wave 2 and Wave 1, I'm going to be reviewing all of these 8 tracks, giving my thoughts and feelings on all 8 of them. Then at the end, I'm going to be ranking them all into a top 8 just for Wave 3, and overall giving Wave 3 a final score out of 10. So, let's get straight to it. Let's start off with London Loop. So first up is Tour London Loop. Honestly, this track is really just the definition of okay. This track isn't really anything too special and the music is very generic. However, it is still a very solid track. The track layout is very good and well put together. I really like driving around all the different monuments of London, including Big Ben, the Tower Bridge, the Tower of London, the London Eye, the red telephone boxes and letterboxes, as well as Buckingham Palace. What I really like about this track is how on the final lap, all of the chain chomps which were originally tied to the floor get set free and start to roam around the track. So yeah, this track is a very solid track. However, Nintendo once again missed a great opportunity to make the track rain, like the UK is known to do. If the track rained, then I would have liked this track a lot more, but on the whole, very good. Next up is GBA Blue Lake. It looks like Nintendo's great record of remaking GBA tracks in Mario Kart 8 continues. I don't know what it is, but Nintendo always seem to be able to recreate GBA tracks so well in Mario Kart 8. And Blue Lake is no exception. Even though I would have preferred Broken Pier to be remade, GBA Blue Lake is still a very good remake. For starters, the graphics are sensational. Arguably the best graphically looking track in the whole DLC, next to maybe GBA Snowland on Wave 2. I mean, just look at the wooden floor, it looks amazing. I also love the new anti-gravity and underwater sections. It is amazing. The new music is okay, but it's not better than the original version. But ultimately, this is a really well done remake of the classic GBA Blue Lake, and one of the best retro tracks in the DLC, and one of the most improved tracks based upon its original. A fantastic track this is. Next is 3DS Alpine Pass. Now this is an interesting one. This track is a really fun track to race on, but there isn't really anything too special going on, just like London Loop. It's a good track, but it's not amazing. However, it is better than the 3DS version. The final part is in anti-gravity, which is more than appropriate, since it would have felt so weird going at an almost 90-degree angle with no anti-gravity. The gliding sections are neat as well, but ultimately there's nothing too special about this track. It's just a solid fun track. I like the new music though, that's a nice touch. So, let's talk about the shortcut first. Now the shortcut has changed, and it now requires a mushroom to fully experience the benefits of the shortcut, and it's more hidden and out of sight compared to the original, which is a bit of a weird change, but I'm okay with that. The actual track though is beautiful. Apparently there's more leaf piles to drive on than the original and the Mario Kart 7 remake, which is always welcome because driving through those leaf piles is so much fun. It will never get old. Also, the tree trunk sections are more thicker, which means they are easier to drive on without falling off. Hard Pipes return, which is epic as well. I thought Hard Pipes was just a Mario Kart Wii thing, but nope, Nintendo returned it in Mario Kart Tour and it's finally in Mario Kart 8 and it's so good to see. However, it's super hard to trick off of them, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it over practice. This track is just beautiful. I'm so pleased that Wii Maple Treeway, my favourite track in Mario Kart Wii, is finally in Mario Kart 8 in beautiful HD. It's fantastic. While I don't think it's as good as the original, I certainly do think it's better than the Mario Kart 7 remake and the Mario Kart Tour remake. Honestly, this track has everything I could have hoped for and some more. It's an absolute privilege driving once more on Wii Maple Treeway. Boy, what a track. What a track Berlin Byways is. If you've been subscribed to me for a bit, you'll know that I love the city of Berlin. I went to Germany a few months ago in real life to Berlin and I absolutely loved it. Now for the actual track. Honestly, this is the best Mario Kart Tour City track in the DLC by a country mile so far. I love driving past the famous German landmarks like the Brandenburg Gate, the Prussian Victory Column and the Berlin Zoo. I also love the section with the Berlin Wall and how the warmth acts like part of the wall falling down. Also, near the end of the second lap, near the Brandenburg Gate, you can also interact with the racers behind you since they're driving across your path. Also, the music is amazing. It's even better than the original music in Mario Kart Tour, which is epic. This track really sets you on a tour of the famous city of Berlin, and I love it. It's good to see the best city track in the new DLC. I love the city of Berlin in real life, and I love the city of Berlin in Mario Kart Tour. It's going to be hard for the other Mario Kart Tour tracks to top this one. Boy, that's a lot to talk about in DS Peach Gardens. The overall track looks stunning on HD, and it is on par with GBA Blue Lake and GBA Snowland when it comes to the best Mario Kart tracks graphically in this new DLC. I also love the bushes that look like Mario characters as well as the new piranha plant which you need to drive around. That part kind of reminds me of Paris Promenade. Now, let's talk about that final lap. My word, Nintendo, what a surprise! In the final lap, you go around the track backwards. When I first experienced that, I was amazed. I was laughing out of sheer joy. No joke, guys, I couldn't stop laughing due to how epic this was. I was not expecting to go around the track backwards in the final lap. When I was previewing this wave on my last video, I mentioned how I was least looking forward to this track due to it not being anything special. I had no idea what was coming to me then. Absolutely epic. That's the only word I can describe that. Just epic. I wonder if more Mario Kart tracks are going to be like this in the future, where you get to go backwards in the final lap. Because I hope so. So yeah, this is by far the best version of DS Peach Gardens. Not only because of the backwards section, but also it looks the best graphically as well. And the character bushes, the piranha plants makes a nice touch as well. Before this wave came out, I was disappointed that Nintendo brought back Peach Gardens. But now, I'm glad Nintendo brought back Peach Gardens. This is the definitive version of DS Peach Gardens. Okay, so next is Merry Mountain. Honestly, this track is pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie, but this track reminded me a lot of Sky High Sunday. As in, a good track, but overall slightly disappointing. It's still a great track, and I love the anti-gravity and hard pipe sections, but ultimately, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Especially since I never played this track before, or even seen gameplay footage of it, so I had no idea what to expect. I guess my expectations were a little too high, because I just felt a little bit disappointed at the end. However, there is one thing I do love about this track, and that's the music. The music is absolutely amazing. But that's really the only saving grace of this track. Don't get me wrong, I do like this track, but compared to the other tracks on the wave, this is definitely one of the weaker ones. I'm sure this track will grow on me over time like Paris Promenade, Sky High Sunday and GBA Sky Garden did over time, so I'm not too disappointed. But for now, it's kind of just okay. 3DS Rainbow Road is the last track of Wave 3 of my life. What a track! For starters, the graphics look so good! At the start, I was a little bit worried about the new look, because the road didn't really look like a rainbow. It kind of looks like water, honestly, so it takes a bit of getting used to. But now that I'm used to the new look, I actually prefer it over the original 3DS look. I think it makes the track look even more beautiful than it already is. And I also love how Nintendo has redone the models for the planets as well. In the 3DS version, they just look like ordinary rocky planets, but now they look like Neptune, Jupiter, and of course Saturn, so they look like actual planets in the actual solar system. The Saturn's rings section looks even more beautiful than ever, and I just love how the moon section is in anti-gravity as well. It's so appropriate. It's a bit like the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe battle track Lunar Colony, how it was on the moon and the whole of that battle track is in anti-gravity. The new music is great as well, although it's not as good as the original. Like I always say every time I'm talking about 3DS Rainbow Road, this track is more than a track. It's more than a Rainbow Road. It's an adventure. And I'm so pleased that this track is in beautiful HD and we can race on this track on the big screen instead of it being stuck on a tiny 3DS or a phone. Before, this beauty of a track was stuck on a handheld and a phone with limited graphics and a small screen, and quite frankly I think that's kind of an insult to this track. But now we can fully appreciate this fantastic track on the big screen and in HD. I'm so pleased. Nintendo went all out with this track, and I absolutely love it. Simply amazing, and a fantastic end to a fantastic wave. As always, these are all of the Wave 3 tracks ranked into a top 8. So Alpine Pass is in last place because, you know, it's just not really that interesting. Merry Mountain's in 7th because it was slightly disappointing. London Loop in 6th, again just okay. Peach Gardens has gone up to 5th, mainly because of that final lap. Then we got GBA Boo Lake in 4th because it's one of the best visually looking tracks ever. Then we got Berlin Byways in 3rd because, you know, it's Berlin Byways. And, you know, I was having a hard time debating about whether Maple Treeway or 3DS Rainbow Road should win Wave 3. But honestly, it just has to be 3DS Rainbow Road. It has to be. So that is the end of Wave 3, and honestly, it is the best wave yet. Totally blows Wave 1 and Wave 2 out the water. Wave 3 so far is hands down the best wave in the DLC. And we're only halfway there. We've still got 3 more waves on the way. This is epic. We've still got 3 more waves. And hopefully, just due to how good Wave 3 was, hopefully that might set a new standard to what Wave 4, 5 and 6 are going to be. So hopefully, even though Wave 3 so far is the best wave, let's hope that Wave 4, 5 and 6 is even better. But until then, I'm going to give Wave 3 a 9.5 out of 10.